Hello, everybody. Healing Foods Coach here, Megan, also known as the Faithful Fibromyalgia Warrior. I hope you're all doing really well. I am feeling fantastic and amazing. It is Tuesday, the 30th of July, if you can believe it. We're already halfway through the summer. Wow, where is the time going, right? Before I forget, I have, for a limited time this summer, I am offering a discount on my initial consultation and coaching sessions. So if you're interested, you better hurry up and go to the site and book your session while the offer is still valid. So that is Healing Foods Coach. You'll find me at www.healingfoodscoach.com, or you can email me at megan@healingfoodscoach.com to make the appointment. All right, so today's short topic, and I feel almost silly saying it, but I was reminded how easy it is to forget about this important thing, which is staying hydrated. So whether you are in your, I think it's winter season if you live, say, in New Zealand or Australia, although I'm sure the weather is still fairly decent there. But for the rest of us, it is summer. And in places like today, it's about 30 degrees Celsius almost, which is really, really hot for England. Okay, we don't often get temperatures quite that hot on a regular basis. 30 and above is actually really normal for a lot of Canada and for a large part of the States, and it's way hotter on top of that in some places. So we all know summer for the most part. We all know it's a hot time of the year, and I think we all know it's really important that we don't let ourselves get dehydrated. But what I was quickly reminded of today is that it is easy to still reach dehydration if we are not drinking, taking in fluids throughout the day. Now, when I say fluids, technically things like, okay, well, first of all, if you're here, then you are most likely you are already carnivore, wherein your 70% of your food sources are from animals. Okay, you're probably already carnivore, which means you have likely cut out, I would hope, all of the sugary fruit juices and smoothies. You are perhaps eating a little bit of berries or fruit, low carb fruit at this time for a few weeks. But generally speaking, you are not probably considering regular soda pop as a effective beverage to be drinking on a hot summer's day. Okay, I would hope. And if you are drinking soda or pop, depending on where you live, it's called one or the other. I would hope that you guys are drinking the sugar-free diet stuff. Okay, if you are choosing to drink it. Now, just a reminder, because it's easy to forget, but diet pop, diet soda, yes, it is sugar-free. Thank goodness. However, it is still full of caffeine. And even some of the clear or mostly, or not the cola type beverages, but the things like the 7-Ups, the Sprites, anything that's like that, still has some caffeine in it. And look, a lot of you guys already probably know caffeine is a diuretic, which means it will make you go to the bathroom. It'll make you pee a whole lot more. And so if you are trying to combat dehydration, these are not good choices, because the caffeine is going to, basically anything you drink is going to come right out of you. So it's not effective for fighting and preventing dehydration. Okay. If you want to have a diet pop or soda at some point in your day, I'm not saying you can never have it. I would suggest that you probably want to have maybe one or two, but make sure you are also drinking lots and lots and lots of good old, now this is empty, water. Okay, water. Oops, sorry. disappearing in the background. I just finished this. Okay. It can be whatever brand, by the way. Tap water is acceptable. If you don't want to spend the money on buying bottled water, drink tap water, throw in some ice cubes. That should be more than enough. And if you're out walking like I do, I tend to do between anywhere from 4 to 5 miles a day generally. And when it gets hot like this, I really have to make sure that I'm keeping up my fluid intake. So when I'm talking fluids, I'm talking most of what you're drinking should be water, or if you want to drink other beverages, make sure that they are decaffeinated as much as possible. So as you guys know, I've been off caffeine. I think it's about 3 weeks now. I've had no temptation to go back, which is great. I don't miss it. And I'm thankful for that. So I drink a lot of cold coffee. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that I don't enjoy a nice iced decaf Starbucks coffee, because I do. But, if I'm looking at having 2 or 3 throughout the day, that becomes expensive. So what do? I just make my own. Make my own coffee. I make it with cold water. It's not a drip filter or anything like that. So I make my own coffee, throw in a whole bunch of ice cubes, and just let it sit and let the ice cubes melt a little, and that's me covered. Okay, so if you are going to still be drinking, if you still drink tea, for example, just as far as a fluid is concerned, if it's decaffeinated, that's better than, iced regular tea, which is typically full of sugar because they flavor it and so forth. The most refreshing thing to have normally, I find, is just water. Now, I will, on a really hot day, I will add in a little bit of sea salt, but it's just a couple of pinches of sea salt to my water, just because I tend to sweat because I'm out walking a lot, and I want to make sure I'm not having too much loss of electrolytes. You may or may not have to do that yourself. Okay. So the other thing I had to remind myself is I don't, some people will say, well, just drink water when you feel thirsty. But actually, the best thing to do is to sip water throughout the day. Because sometimes if we wait until our brain registers that we're feeling thirsty, at that point, we already may be starting to be a bit dehydrated. So sip water throughout the day. You don't have to drink like liters of it all at once. And whatever your body doesn't need, it's going to either sweat out or it's going to pee out. It's not stored in our systems. But I find, for me anyways, if I make sure I'm sipping either a nice cold decaf or a lot of water, and also some cold decaf coffee throughout the day, that keeps me from feeling dehydrated, keeps my energy levels up. And yeah, that helps on a day like today. So I'm thinking, if you guys are in parts of the world where it's even hotter, it's probably even that much more important. And again, guys, look, I'm sure that most of you, all 600 plus of you, wonderful, amazing, incredible, super supportive people out there that have got my back and are always encouraging me. I'm sure you guys probably already know this, but I just thought, because I had to be reminded. Okay, so basically what happened was I took the dogs out for a walk earlier today before it got really, really hot. I drank some water at home before we left. We went out for about 40 minutes. We did about 2 miles altogether. And when I got back, I could have had I probably could have had a liter's worth of water. Now I didn't. I drank half a liter. Okay. Because I was so thirsty by the time I got back with the dogs. And I realized, you know what? My mistake was, yes, I had some water before we left, but I should have had water with me whilst walking to keep myself from becoming that thirsty, right? Especially when it was almost It was already about 24 degrees Celsius when the dogs and I went out. So I knew better, but I thought I'd be okay if I had water first, went for a walk, drank when I got back. Turns out I should have had water with me as well. So I'm simply, from my own sort of oops, sharing that with you guys, because let's face it, when it's really, really hot, especially you guys who live in the South, like I'm talking all the fantastic people I met when we were in New Orleans at the beginning of April. I can't even imagine how hot and humid it's got to be now. I couldn't do it. It'd be way too much for me. Okay. I would probably be drinking all sorts of water and still want to lay down and pass out in the sun. Okay. So places like that where it's even hotter than what it is, here's nothing compared to that. Here's like a tropical spring day or a nice spring day compared to places like New Orleans. Okay. So for those of you, amazing folks who are in the States, whether you're from the South or whether you live in the South or whether you once did and you now live somewhere else, summer. Okay. Summer that I could not handle. Absolutely no way. Forget it. It's even more important because I would think you could easily get heat stroke or pass out or be dehydrated even faster. Because the thing is, I love this time of year when the weather's beautiful and the sun's out and it's nice and hot and I can get out and walk and do so much walking and enjoy the weather in the day compared to the rainy winter season, which I can get out, but it just sort of sucks. I love this time of year, but there's also a higher chance of things like heat exhaustion, sunstroke, dehydration. So I could have had issues if I'd been out for any longer with the dogs because I didn't take water with me. So I guess that was it. This was my mistake. And I'm sure all of us have those moments where we think, no, we'll be fine. And then we may not be. So anyways, that is all I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys remember to drink lots and lots of water. Cold, like iced decaf coffee. Honestly, you know what I do sometimes is I'll make a whole batch up in our French press or cafetiere. And once it cools down a little, I chuck it in the fridge overnight. And then I have nice iced decaf coffee for the next day. So there's a tip. That might be something you guys want to do. And again, if you enjoy your caffeine, that's fine. But just keep in mind, the caffeine is a diuretic. I would add one more thing for those people who like to drink tea. Not only are you getting the issues of the fact that tea has caffeine, not as much as coffee, I'm aware, but tea also is very high in tannins, which can actually block the absorption of certain minerals, things like iron, essential stuff our body needs. It makes it harder for our body to absorb those things when we have too much tannin in our system. So you may want to rethink those things. Switching to decaf tea is probably always a good idea. I don't drink tea myself. It's never been a thing really for me. But you might want to consider going decaf if you're going to drink it at all. And depending on what other ingredients, what other plants your teas are made from, you may want to consider the non-black teas, so like just the fruity herbal teas, like chamomiles and that type of thing. If you're going to drink it at all, make it nice and cold. It'll be much more refreshing. And again, when it's this hot, nice cold decaf coffee. Oh, have it. And water. Lots of just plain water. Best thing. Nature's provided it. It's all we actually need. The other things are just add-ons in case we want to have a nice taste when we're drinking our fluids to prevent dehydration. anyways, that's enough for me for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always appreciate your encouragement and your support. Do you guys have favorite drinks that you go to in the summertime? What do you guys drink the most of? And yeah, give me some ideas. I'd love to hear back from you. Give me your feedback. And also, again, reminder, there is a special discount offer at the moment for your initial consultation and coaching session with me. So please check that out at www.healingfoodscoach.com or email me, Megan@healingfoodscoach.com, for more details and to get the specifics and book a time. That's all for today. I am so glad you guys stuck with me to the end here of this video. I will be back again tomorrow with more content. Till then, have a great day, whatever you get up to. Make the most of it. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.